Hey guys, it is 8:03 in the morning on September 11th, and today has been incredibly slow for numerous reasons, but a couple of them are this, and it's been storming all morning. It stormed most of yesterday as well, but the thunder has been incredibly loud this morning so far, and I don't like that. And the only other reason that I'm actually willing to go into is that I have another blood lab drawn appointment, blood drawn appointment, sure, on Friday afternoon, and even though I know presumably that nothing's going to go wrong, my anxiety doesn't, so it starts to slow down once I start to think about it, so I do my best not to think about it, but I can only do so much. But things have been slow, but I have been working slowly. I started with FTZ, I think, yep, and I wrote 154 there. Voice of the Wild Places Z, I wrote 378. Fallen Blues, I wrote 210. Pitman's Legend King, I wrote 392. The Dealer, I wrote 680, and Initiate the Boys, I wrote 122, and all of that brings my total for the day so far to 1,936. So, I have JTS opened on my tablet. I'm going to work on that for a little bit, see what happens. I expect that to not go super great either, but I only need to write 51 words. Oh, fine. I'll up my goal then. Leave me alone. Still 51 words to, well, I lied. Hold on. I gotta change this. There you go. I don't want to write 200 words. There. Now I have to write 46 words today in order to hit 43,000 words by the end of the month. So that's all I'm going to aim for, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to try and circle around to Untitled Mysteries before I go to sleep, because that's always the least stressful, because no one but me is ever going to read any of those words, and that takes some of the weight off my shoulders, because even everything that I'm writing, it's a first draft, but I still know that eventually people are going to see the published versions, which will be the edited versions and all that, but still. And sometimes when I'm having a bad day, that makes it much harder to write. So I'm just going to do my best to cycle through these other ones without worrying too much about word count, which is what I just did with Initiate the Boys. That was the only one that I've been able to convince myself to just move on once it's not working. But I'm going to do my best to try and just convince myself to write for a little bit, and then if it doesn't work, move on. And then I'll get around to Untitled Mysteries, hopefully, before I go to sleep and actually accomplish something. Can normally accomplish something on that, even on my bad days. So we'll see what happens, but I will give you guys another update soon. Probably a couple before I go to bed, as long as things aren't too terrible in my attempt to reach Untitled Mysteries, but we'll see, and hopefully I will see you guys with an update soon. Hey guys, it is currently 4:54 p.m. and I just finished working on Untitled Mysteries, and I wrote 1,690 words there, and it brings my total for the day so far to 4,638. So I've just opened up TGV on the desktop here, and I'm waiting for that to load. And while it loads, I'm going to go into the living room and do bird chores, and then I'm going to wash my face, and then I'm going to come back and work on TGV. I have to write another amount of words today, 362, so I'm going to do my best to get all of those on TGV and then keep working on it from there, because once I meet my 5,000 word goal, it doesn't really matter if I spend all of that time dedicated to one book, even if it's not making progress. I just want to make sure that I hit my goal first. So that's the plan, is to attempt to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and start with bird chores and go from there, because this one's going to take a bit to load. It's currently on page 165 apparently, and it's still going. I have no idea how many pages are in this book. But I'm going to go ahead and start with bird chores, and then we'll come back around to TGV, see what happens. Once I hit the goal, I might go back and do one audio transcription, put that into the stuff and things count, and then jump back to TGV again. But we will see, and I will give you guys an update when I have one to give. Alrighty, it is 9:33 in the morning, and since the last time I updated you, I've worked on 4 books. FTZ, I wrote 40 words. Again, I'm still waiting to catch up a different book to where that one is, so that way everything is, from that point forward, correct in the timeline of things. So it's I'm just very limited on what I can actually write in it at the moment. Voice of the Wild Places Z, I wrote 264 words. Fallen Blues, I wrote 260, and Pittman's Legend King, I wrote 1,688, and that and everything else that I did previously brings my total for the day so far to 4,830 words. But, I was going to attempt to hit 5,000 before I went to bed, but my sleeping vitamin things have already kicked in, and I am ready for a nap, so that's what we're going to do. On Pittman's Legend, if I want to still hit 90,000 by the end of this month, I need to write 2,256 words per day, and I'm going to do my best to hit that today. I don't know if I'll start with Pittman's Legend when I wake up or not. The hope is that I will, but it depends on if the characters are still talking by then. Things went pretty well this morning since I've been back here. I mean, it took me an hour to write 1,688 words in Pittman's Legend, so it's definitely been good, especially compared to usual when it comes to Pittman's Legend. But I just can't, I can't go any further. I was going to do my best to stay awake until I got there, because I'm very close. I'm 800-ish words away, I think. No, 600? 600. It's closer to 600 words away. But I just can't. I'm tired, my eyes hurt, I need a nap. So I'm going to do that. If everything goes really well today, we'll start with Pittman's Legend when I wake up, and I'll hit the goal there. I'll hit my 5,000 word goal, and I'll hit 50,000 on Pittman's Legend, because I'm currently at 48,824. So the goal for today is to hit 50,000 in Pittman's Legend, but that depends on a lot of factors. And factor number 1 is my alarm going off at the correct time, and then all of the factors after that. But I have my fingers crossed for 50k today, and we'll see how things go. And I will give you guys an update sometime after I wake up and after I get some work done and all that fun jazz. Hey guys, it is currently 2:42 in the morning on September 13th, and so far progress has been pretty slow, but that's okay. I was expecting that since I have my labs later on today in the afternoon, so I was expecting progress to be pretty slow today. I started with Initiate the Boys, and I wrote 378 there, and the only other book I've worked on is JTS, and I wrote 310 there, which brings my total for the day so far to 688. So the next one is the Carver Baxter book, and I do have it open, but I haven't written anything in it yet. But I'm going to attempt to get at least like a solid 100 words out of it, if nothing else. And at some point this morning, I also need to edit today's Days Gone video. So I'm going to do that as well in between writing. I just don't know when. But I'm going to do my best to get through my stuff, edit a video on the PlayStation. I have a work in progress video that I just uploaded last night to make public on YouTube, so I'll do that as well. And I'll get back to you guys when I have an update to give, but otherwise the goal today is just to get through stuff and see if I can hit the 5,000 word goal. That's pretty much it. I would also like to do a quick edit on TGV, I think, today. Not like an intense edit, just a short edit one, just a rough, get through the first couple chapters, format them for beta readers, go from there, see what happens. But regardless, Carver Baxter is my next book to work on, and I'll give you guys an update when I have one to give you from that. Alrighty, it is 4:47 in the morning, and I finally finished editing the Days Gone video. It took forever. I edited on the PlayStation, and I still had 3 videos that were on my flash drive, and you can only import like 2,000 megabytes or something from a flash drive into the app. So I could only do the first video because it was 24 minutes long, so then I had to save that onto the PlayStation after rendering it on the app, and then I had to do the same with the second clip, and the third clip was only 8 minutes, so that one I just had to import, which only takes like 2 seconds. And then I had to put those 3 clips together and edit a 57-minute video down to 35 something, I think, which I managed, but then I also had to export and render when I was like 30 minutes into the final video there, because I needed to do 2 more voiceovers, one as the outro and one as the explanation for what was going on the screen. And I was out of the option for voiceover, so I had to export it there. And now it is completely edited, all the voiceovers are done, it's rendering, it's 20% complete rendering, so I'm currently not going to be watching YouTube or anything like that. I'm just going to sit here and attempt to get some work done. So, I can't remember, I showed you Initiate the Boys in JTS, I think. So I worked on Carver Baxter, and I only wrote 126 words there. And since then I've moved on to Books and Badges, but I haven't done basically anything yet. I think I've written like 1 paragraph. Yeah, so far I've written a whopping total of like 60 words, I think. That was close. I've written a whopping total of 62 words so far, but I have only been working at it for a couple minutes. That's not terrible in the long run of things. But I can eat food again, so I have my coffee sitting here, ready to go once it's come down from being cold, because it's been in the fridge. And it is iced coffee, but I can't drink it straight out of the fridge or else it freezes my jaw, basically. But I'm going to also find something to snack on, and then I'm going to continue to get some work done here. I might do a little bit more work in Books and Badges before I move on to Untitled Mysteries, which is the next thing to work on. I don't expect Books and Badges progress to go super great. I think Untitled Mysteries is the only real shot that I have at 5,000 words today. In the long run, but I would also like to cycle around to Pittman's Legend and see if I can't meet the daily goal on that again, because I would still love to finish that book this month. But we'll see how things go. I'm just going to do my best. I hate that my anxiety gets up in arms about a blood appointment. It literally takes like 5 minutes, if even, not even close actually. Much less time than that. But still get up in arms over it, and I can't really do much about that. Anxiety isn't logical. That's what makes it so thrilling. But I'm gonna do my best. Do my best to hit 5,000, do my best to make progress, do my best to cycle around to Pittman's Legend at some point today. I'm not expecting it to be this morning. But we will see what happens, and I will give you guys an update at some point. At the moment, I'm just waiting for this video to finish rendering so that way I can export it to my flash drive so I can turn off the PlayStation, and so that way I can get it uploading to YouTube before early morning. So I will see you guys at some point with another update on Books and Badges here, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, it is 9:31 in the morning and I'm just getting ready to go to bed here in a few. I started editing TGV and I got all the way through chapter 1 and into the first 2 scenes of chapter 2, and I haven't gone through and checked the word count for what I've accomplished on chapter 2 just yet, but on chapter 1 I ended up with 1,711 words. Hooray. And on this book, much like I do when I do like the Man of Darkness edits and whatnot, I'm keeping track of how many changes I make, so that way you guys can have an idea. And so far, I have made 11 changes in the first chapter. I haven't checked how many I've made in this one yet. My jaw is killing me. It's fun. My chest is killing me. Like I said, anxiety is pretty... It's running me around today. And sometimes that manifests in pain and tenseness here, which is one of the things that it's doing. And the other really cool thing that anxiety does sometimes is it makes you feel like you're having a heart attack consistently. And I've been dealing with that for about the past hour and a half to 2 hours, so it's been thrilling. I took my sleep vitamin thing half an hour ago. I'm not tired at all because I'm more focused on the anxiety part of my brain, but I am going to go back to my room, I am going to lay down, and I am going to attempt to go to sleep. I'm setting my alarms for 1 o'clock. The goal is to actually have them go off. If they go off, I'm going to take a shower at 1 after I wake up. If I do not wake up, my mom is calling me at 1:30 in hopes that I wake up, so that way I am ready by the time she gets home to take me to my lab appointment. But in between that, I might get some more editing done. I might get some more editing done when we come home. I don't know. Depends on how things go. Depends on how I feel when I wake up, so on and so forth. But I'm going to hope that I can sleep, and we'll go from there. And outside of all of that, I will give you guys an update at some point in the day when I actually have one to give, whatever it may be on. Hey guys, so it's currently 10:18 p.m. and as expected, things have been pretty slow since I got home. You've seen very limited updates on a couple things that I've worked on since I got home, but it hasn't been much. But since the last time I updated you, I worked on FTZ, which was 46 words, Voice of the Wild Places Z, which was 284, and Fallen Blues, which was 130, and all of those together, in addition to everything else, brings my total for the day to 3,480 words. I doubt I'm gonna hit 5,000, that's fine. It's just been a slow day. It's been thrilling, though, so that's something, I guess. Using thrilling sarcastically, of course. I'm opening up Pittman's Legend King right now on the desktop to attempt to work on it, and while it's loading, I'm going to go make coffee because this one's going to take a while to load since it's 50,000 words. But I need to write 2,217 words today if I wanted to stay on track, and we all know that's not going to happen, but I'm going to do my best to work on it and see what happens, and I can make up words tomorrow, I can make up the day after that, I can make up the day after that. It's fine. I just want to have Pittman done this month. But while this is loading, I'm going to go ahead and go make coffee and then attempt to get into Pittman's Legend and see what happens, but at the moment it is still loading. It's loaded a whopping 12 pages, so it's going to take a bit. But I will give you guys another update at some point before midnight. I imagine this will probably be the only book I work on from now until then, unless I get a sudden spurt of energy and I crank out over 2,000 words in like half an hour, so that's not going to happen. But, you know, if we pretend hard enough, it might. But yeah, I'm gonna go start with coffee and we'll go from there, but I'll give you guys an update when I have one to give. Hey guys, it is 6:11 in the morning on September 14th, and things have been relatively slow this morning, but they haven't been absolutely terrible. I have, however, taken like 3 20-minute naps all together this morning because I'm absolutely exhausted from waking up early yesterday and then my anxiety being very high-strung yesterday and being out and about yesterday. So I'm very tired, but I don't want to completely dick up my sleep schedule, so I've just been taking little naps to recharge briefly to keep me going, and then I'm going to take my gummy vitamin thing at 9, and then I'm going to go to bed at 9:30. I don't want to ruin my sleep schedule, so I've just been taking little naps in small enough increments that it doesn't completely ruin my ability to fall asleep at 9:30, hopefully. But so far today, I've written 1,948 words, and that has been divided between Books and Badges, Carver Baxter, JTS, Initiate the Boys, The Dealer, and Pittman's Legend King. Pittman's Legend was the most active, that was 1,096 words. The Dealer was 102. Initiate the Boys was 242. JTS was 142. Carver Baxter was 106, and Books and Badges was 260. I've just opened up the document for Untitled Mysteries. As per usual, that is the least stressful to work on because I am the only one who will ever see the words that I'm writing there, so there's no stress for them to be any good at all, which makes it very, very nice, and it's very generally stress-free and very nice. Because I worry a lot about my first drafts being relatively readable, so with this I don't have to worry about that. They're still relatively readable, but I don't have to stress about it because I'm the only one that will be reading them, which is nice. So that's what I'm going to work on next, and my goal is to cycle through all of my books today and get back to Pittman's Legend at some point. After this I'll be editing. I plan on editing a chapter of TGV and then starting the Man of Darkness edit 8. But we'll see how things go. But I am hungry, so I'm going to go warm up breakfast and hope that I don't wake my mom up. I don't let the microwave beep at the end, but the microwave's still pretty loud. But hopefully it's early enough in the morning that she's still asleep enough that it won't affect her at all. But I'm going to go warm up breakfast because I feel sick to my stomach, and I'm hoping that it's because of food and not anxiety related or anything like that. Kind of over that. There was a lot of that yesterday. I don't want it today as well, so but I'm going to start with food and then Untitled Mysteries and then editing, and then we'll go from there. I don't know if I'll get to editing before I go to sleep. Depends on how things go with Untitled Mysteries, and we'll just see what happens. But either way, I will give you guys an update when I have one to give, and until then I'm going to go find food. Hey guys, it is currently 4:15 in the morning on September 15th, and I've been working on Pittman's Legend so far, and I haven't gotten super far, but I have written 1,022 words so far, which is still something, if nothing else. And I've been keeping track of my goal over here on my calculator, and I need another 4,892 words to make up for the words that I missed yesterday that were making up for the words that I missed the day before that. I did hit 5,000 words yesterday, but I didn't make up for the words that I had missed the day before yesterday, so I've added those into the configuration for today as well, in hopes that we meet it. If not, I'll move it to the next day, and we'll keep going from there. But I'm going to edit a Man of Darkness video on the tablet here. I did do the editing on the PS4, but the music soundtrack that I use for my YouTube videos wouldn't import, so I'll have to look into that because it wasn't like an MP3, or I guess it doesn't accept MP3s, which I think is what the file is, and then it also didn't accept my end card, so I couldn't import it because it wasn't the right resolution or something for the PlayStation. So I'm going to add those two things on the tablet, and then from there I'll be able to export it and upload it to YouTube. So I'm going to do that, and it will still take a while to export, even though the only part I'm adding is music and an end card, but that is okay. It still might take more than one try to export, but we'll see. And then after it exports and after it starts loading, I'll get back into work on Pitman's Legend, but until then I'll just be waiting for my tablet to be available again. So I will see you guys with an update when I have one to give, but until then I'm going to start with this Man of Darkness video, and we'll go from there.